Cartoon Obsession. Hello everybody, my name is Nathan, and I am the man with a cartoon obsession. I'm gonna be honest, when Infinity Train first premiered, I wasn't really planning on reviewing every season individually. But given the fact that this series is treated as an anthology, and each season is different enough from one another, I figured it could work. Since I've already reviewed books 1 and 2 individually, I might as well keep the train going, right? So without any further ado, let's get into my review of Infinity Train Book 3. As I previously mentioned, I've already reviewed the first 2 seasons separately, so I recommend checking those out first. Honestly, I might just make a playlist of my Infinity Train videos in case anyone wants to marathon them. Moving right along though, Book 3 is also known as Cult of the Conductor, and unlike the first 2 seasons which aired on Cartoon Network, this one premiered exclusively on HBO Max on August 13th, 2020, over the course of 3 weeks, with the final episode airing on August 27th, 2020. That's not the only thing that's different about Book 3 though. I'm sure you all know the deal with the train by now. Passengers with problems are chosen to come aboard, they're given a number, then they have to travel from car to car and complete the objectives in order to get their number down, and once their number reaches 0, they're able to exit the train. However, this time we see a journey through a completely different perspective. This time around, the story follows Grace Monroe and Simon Laurent, the leader and second in command of a group called the Apex. They were introduced in Book 2 and shown to be antagonists, and seeing the havoc they wreak in the very first scene of Book 3, you wouldn't be wrong to make that assumption. Instead of completing the tasks in each car and trying to get their numbers down, they destroy each car and get their numbers up. They want to follow the lead of the true conductor and get their numbers as high as possible, and they don't trust any of the nulls, or in other words, the beings who live in the different cars and were purely designed to be on the train. Grace and Simon get separated from the rest of the Apex, and they travel through the train in an attempt to be reunited with the rest of the group. On their journey, they encounter Hazel, a 6-year-old girl who has a number on her hand like every other passenger, but unlike the other passengers, hers doesn't glow. Acting as Hazel's guardian is Tuba, a gorilla who lives on the train. Grace and Simon want to recruit Hazel, but they're very hesitant to bring Tuba along. But they have to compromise. In case you're not caught up yet, I don't want to go too far into detail with the story, but I'm going to say this right now. This is the deepest, most detailed, and most emotional story that this show has told so far. Yes, it does have 1 or 2 predictable elements, which is a very minor issue I've had with past seasons, but much like I've said about past seasons, Book 3 also knows how to throw some curveballs. Honestly, probably the most out of any season we've gotten up to this point. Not only that, but I think the characters in this season are the strongest in the series so far. They all get a lot of development, but their stories go in different directions. We also learn a bit more about a couple side characters that had been introduced all the way back in Book 1, like the cat. My favorite of the main characters this season is definitely Grace. I may not agree with all of the Apex's methods, but I do think that she leads the group well. She also has a great amount of development and becomes a completely different person at the end of the season than she was at the beginning. Plus, she has a certain charm to her that I really like.
Let's trap it.
Simon also goes through a lot of development, but in a completely different way. I enjoy his relationship with Grace. Since they've known each other for a long time and they're really close, they have a fantastic chemistry. Nothing romantic, at least from what I can tell, but just a close friendship, which is still nice to see. Hazel is a good addition to the show as well. She's young and naive, and when I say naive, I mean she really knows nothing. However, she's kind-hearted and energetic. She grows throughout the season as well and becomes a great part of the cast. Finally, there's Tuba, who's a great guardian or even parental figure to Hazel. There's a lot of tension between her and the others, mainly Simon, due to the fact that Apex doesn't trust nulls like I mentioned earlier. I wouldn't call Tuba a standout character per se, but she serves her purpose and does so well. Another thing that's done well that I've already praised the show for in the past is the voice acting. The standout performances for me are Kirby Howell-Baptiste as Grace and Kyle McCarley as Simon. Both of them are more well-versed in other fields, with Howell-Baptiste mainly performing in live-action shows, with a few voice acting roles here and there, and McCarley mostly doing anime voice acting, which from what I've heard is a completely different animal than cartoon voice acting. And of course, the animation and art is as beautiful as it has been. One more thing that I love about this season is the continued world building. I mentioned in my review of Book 2 that the cars and objectives weren't really the main focus of the show, and I think that's even more so the case this time around. However, the trade-off is we get to learn a whole lot more about the train and about the characters, and it's not like there aren't some great cars featured in this season. My personal favorites are the color clock car and the origami car. The only real problem I have with Book 3 is that one part of the story doesn't come to a real conclusion, but that may just be something that they're leaving for the next season, which is something that I'll talk about in just a moment. First things first though, I have to say that Book 3 is my favorite season of Infinity Train so far. It has the most to offer in terms of story and character development, and I got the most invested in this season out of all of them, and let's not forget that I rated this show pretty highly from the start. Infinity Train just keeps getting better and better with each passing season, and I hope it continues to do so. Because of that, I give Infinity Train Book 3 a 95 out of 100. Now back to the thing of future seasons that I alluded to a little while ago. Not too long ago, Owen Dennis posted a tweet that said that most of the crew had been laid off and now they have new jobs, and in order for the series to continue, the streaming numbers need to be good. Therefore, if you want to see more seasons of Infinity Train in the future, I strongly recommend that you watch the show on HBO Max. Even if you don't have a subscription and don't want to pay for one, you can get a free trial for a week and cancel before you get charged. If you've already watched it on HBO Max, watch it again. Why not? I don't know if that calculates into the stream numbers, but it certainly can't hurt.
What would I do without you?
You would die until you're dead.
Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you have any other cartoons, anime, or other animated works that you want me to talk about in the future, please let me know. After all, it's not my channel, it's our channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and feel free to check out my social media pages, Audition for an Outro, and join the official Cartoon Session Discord, the links for all of which are in the description below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
I'm Paradise, and thank you for watching Cartoon Obsession.